So we're going to move into our now watching section. Is there anything else you've been watching recently besides the new Scream, which I agree with you is great?
I watched the new Cyberpunk show, and I've been watching Better Call Saul.
I just finished Better Call Saul.
I'm halfway through season 5, so don't say anything.
Woo!
Yeah, I've heard it gets bonkers. So, as someone who wasn't as somebody who wasn't the biggest fan of Breaking Bad, I'm really enjoying Better Call Saul.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like, it's cool watching, like, the stories kinda, like, connect and intertwine, and I love I
Yep.
was saying to my dad before that, like, I love Gus, I love Saul, I love Mike. So, the fact that they've kinda, like,
There you
put
go.
those 3 in the show together as well, and I love Michael Mando as well, who's, Nacho, but also was Vast from Far Cry 3. So I love watching, like, those 4 act and what they have put into Better Call Saul. It's really cool.
Yes.
But yeah, what I've watched Cyberpunk. Something else I watched recently as well. I've seen a few of this year's movies. I have done my due diligence. I've watched Nope. I've watched Everywhere All at Once. I've watched cult classic Morbius.
Cult classic. Wow.
Cult classic Morbius.
Wow. You heard it here first, guys. Sony, put that on a DVD commercial. Cult classic Morbius. Do it.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, there's no redeeming quality to them. I was really hoping that, like, when I
the beginning is pretty good. The beginning is pretty good.
I was really hoping. Yeah, I was really hoping that when I watched it with my mate, that it would kind of be like The Room situation where, like, you know, there's enough going on in it that it's batshit, and I understand why people love to hate this film and hate to love this film. And then I watched it, and it's just a soulless pit of despair the entire fucking time. Besides the start, Everything Everywhere All at Once was good. It's one of my favorite films from this year. That film was beautiful. Just from so many different aspects. And I really, really, really enjoyed Nope as well.
I still haven't seen Nope, and I'm so mad about it.
Have you seen anything about what it's about?
I know nothing other than aliens. That's all I know. And I have not gotten spoiled somehow.
Yeah, somehow. Don't. Like,
somehow.
Just go into it blind. It's really fucking cool. I think it's
I'm
probably
so stoked to watch it.
I have a habit of watching movies twice within a kind of short time frame. Just so I can kind of, like, rewatch it and pick up things, like, the second time around, especially with those types of films. And even on second watch, I was like, "Fuck, this movie is so cool!" Like, just the cinematography in it as well is just beautiful. Like, there's one shot, I think, like, 3/4 of the way through, and it's just like, I'm like, if this doesn't win a fucking Oscar, Jordan Peele will be throwing hands in the sky right now. Like, it's just so good. It's so good.
Good.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it has that Jordan Peele sense of humor to it too. So
good. Is that all you've really watched recently?
Oh, sorry, I forgot about Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I've heard insanely good things about that. Like, only good things.
Did you play the game?
I actually did. I'm one of the few who have played the game. I beat it. I even went through.
So did I.
So here's the thing. I know there was problems when I first got it. Obviously, everyone had problems with it. I think I got it like right. I played it on PS4 at first, and then my wife Sam got me a PS. Well, this is how the patch came in like a week or two after, and that kind of seemingly fixed everything. It seemed like a lot of people were still having problems. I wasn't. And then I ended up getting a PS5. My wife surprised me with a PS5. So I finished the game on a PS5. So I had no problems whatsoever with it. And I even went through and did like, I kept replaying the last mission to do all the possible outcomes
all the different
and everything like that. Yeah, just to see what they were, because I was like, why not? Why not do it? But it's like a really good game. It was just they should not have released it when they did, and they would have alleviated all these problems.
I think the premise, I think for me the story did kind of fall apart a little bit at the end, to a certain degree. Like, after sitting on it for a little while, I was like, okay, I get, like, why they've gone in this direction, for sure. But to me, it's also, like, really hard to beat The Witcher. But I think a lot of the reason why people are hyping up Edgerunners so much is because Cyberpunk fans have been just fucking bottled by how poorly 2077 went as like a release. And
Yeah,
so they're looking for anything good to kind of grasp, I guess, to a certain degree.
that's fair.
I think the show is good. The action sequences and everything are really fucking cool. Because I think it's same people that did Tokyo Ghoul or
Oh
one of
wow.
those studios.
Okay.
So the show is really cool. Like aesthetically and everything is really cool. Again, kind of much like the game to a certain degree, where it falls short for me is the story. And a lot of it kind of comes down to the dialogue. Like I know that Cyberpunk itself, like the game, like had kind of this cheesy kind of aesthetic to it, but there seems to be this disjointment between seriousness and comedy to me in the show. And it kind of pulled me out of it like a little bit too much, and it was a little bit too like backhanded, for lack of a better term. Like I felt like I was being thrown around just too much. And like, yeah. That being said, it's still really cool. And it's like when they tried to be serious, it was like too cheesily serious. Um, and it's because like for me, like the dialogue just like wasn't there.
That's
Which,
fair.
you know, like it I mean, for some animes, it works really well. But for this one, it just kind of like I thought it was just fine. That being said, it's still good. It's still I'd still recommend watching it. Like it's only 25 minutes an episode, so you smash it out in, like,
Right.
5 hours or something like that. But yeah, it's cool.
It's cool.
It's cool.
Cool. I'll probably check it out because I like the world. And yeah, I mean, I didn't think the story in Cyberpunk was like mind blowing. Like I'm not like a huge video game player, but I play mostly story based stuff. But like The Last of Us is like
I was about to
my
say I can
favorite.
see the Last of Us poster in the
Yeah,
background.
yeah. That's like top tier storytelling to me. It's like so incredible. Part 1 and part 2 is so well done, and it's like playing a fucking movie for hours and hours on end. It's so great. It was mostly just like it reminded me of the same way you like upgrade and do missions felt a lot like Spider-Man to me, like the PS4 Spider-Man game. And I liked that aspect of it, of being able to like go open world and take on all these missions and kind of do everything. The story was just kind of there. I think I liked it more because Keanu Reeves was the main character in a way. You know, I just like
Yeah,
Keanu Reeves.
I mean, to me,
I think
he was the saving grace for me.
Oh yeah. That
Like,
gave me like I was like, Keanu, I love you,
yeah.
man. You know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, for me,
excited.
I've been paying more attention to like all the pop culture, like video game stuff that's been going down. Specific. I mean, I know in our list we're about to get into horror, but for me specifically, Dead Space. I'm a huge fucking Dead Space fan.
The
Did you ever get
remake
into that
now,
series?
right? No,
Yeah,
I've never
it's
gotten into
coming
that.
in on January 23rd. I am so fucking hyped for that. That and Callisto Protocol too. I'm a huge nerd when it comes to like those games and etc. So I'm very excited. I've been sweating bullets, and the new COD as well. I'm one of those people that just gets hyped for every single new COD. But yeah.
Sick. Yeah. As far as what I've been watching, I just finished Better Call Saul today.
Oh, true.
The whole thing today.
Oh, true.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but I love Breaking Bad's one of my favorite shows of all time. And I think Better Call Saul, they're kind of, it's the same world, it's the same exact team. But I think just because of how the last season is done, I think Better Call Saul edges out Breaking Bad. And there is way more interweaving with Breaking Bad in like specifically like the last few episodes, but the way they do the final like 5 or so episodes is so different than any show I have ever seen. And you'll understand when you get there. I will not elaborate on that at all, but the way they do it is so interesting, but it's so beautiful and smart, and just the attention to detail in this show is so insane. And they just do such a great job of character. Like that's the biggest thing for me, is like the characters that they build within the show is so incredible. And not only is it super hard to do a prequel of something, especially something that is touted as one of the best television series of all time, but then to do that, enrich characters that are already in this world and make them main characters of something, and then add on to after that series is ended. Because as you know, every opening of every season is black and white, and that is the
black and white because it's
the post Breaking Bad world, and it is incredible. It's so good. I can't wait to get to the end of it, because the end of it is I binged all of it because the hype of season 6 just made me go, you know what? I guess I'm gonna watch it.
I did the same thing. I was like, oh, look, everyone's hyping this fucking show. Okay, fine, I'll watch it.
Yeah,
it's one of those things. I've been meaning to watch it because like I'd heard great things about it, but then I saw everybody hyping, specifically those last 5 episodes, and I was like,
yeah,
okay, fine.
I was the same exact way. And then I saw over the weekend, Marvel Studios released their first special presentation, Werewolf by Night, directed by Michael.
Is it good?
It is fucking awesome. And it's directed by Michael Giacchino, who is not a fucking director, but he is one of the most touted composers there are in film. I will just go through some of the things he's done in the past year. Some small movies: Spider-Man No Way Home, The Batman, Jurassic World Dominion, Lightyear, Thor Love and Thunder, and then he also scored this too, because why the fuck not?
Because why the fuck not? Yeah.
Why the fuck not? And dude, it's just so sick. It's literally like a 30s horror movie done today, basically.
Yep.
It's not, I thought it was going to be like super campy, and it's really not. It's got some comedy in it, but it's not overt comedy. And it's not like an origin story, really. It kind of just throws you into this world, and it's definitely a lot gorier than most MCU stuff. I think Multiverse of Madness is the closest we've gotten to this, but they show some legit blood, but it's in black and white, so I think that's what they got away with it. He even said he was it's rated TV-14, and he was shocked, but I think it's because it's in black and white and you don't see, because red blood, for some reason, you can show gun violence and sexual abuse, but you see some red blood and it's got to be rated R for some reason. I don't know, it's crazy. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I don't rate movies, so whatever. But it is sick. And like a lot of the stuff is practical with just CGI added to it, and it's just really well done. I mean, everyone said this. It's it's one of their favorite things that Marvel's done recently, and it's surprisingly refreshing and all this stuff. And I'm of the fact that they've been experimenting all of Phase 4 with different genre. I mean, they've kind of been doing it in the last like 5 to 8 years or so. Like with Falcon, or with the Winter Soldier, they really started and kind of made like a spy thriller in a Marvel movie and stuff like that. And like Ant-Man was like a heist movie, but in Phase 4 specifically, they've been really diving deep into these different genres, because I think they can take these chances and try different things. And after Multiverse of Madness, and I didn't love Multiverse of Madness, but there's aspects I did love of it. After what I saw in that, and then what I saw in this, I am so stoked for Blade, because I think they're going to fucking nail it. I say give Michael Giacchino Blade. The director just left. Fucking give him Blade.
The screenwriter's going back as well and rewriting everything from top to bottom as well, I saw.
Yeah, they got a new one. And a lot of people were like, oh my God, it's in trouble. I see that as that, hey, they realized something was wrong with this. They need to rectify it and fix
time with it to properly fix it. Yep.
But we'll see.
To quote Blade, some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
That's damn right.
Speaking of new, there we go. I forgot about this. I watched Prey as well. Have you seen the new Prey?
What'd you think?
I fucking loved it. I fucking loved it. As a huge Predator fan, I fucking loved it. After being left with the foul taste that was the 2018 The Predator, it is so sick to see it go back to like the old one.
Literally,
much. Yeah. And just that scene with the French, where he's in the middle of that.
So dope, dude.
Oh, bro, I was hooting and hollering the whole time. Pulls out a riot shield. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, clearly the writer was just like, right, let's go.
Yeah, dude.
It's so sick. I quite literally walked away from that being like, I've never been more impressed by a reboot film in such a long time. Like that was seriously so sick.
Yeah, I love Prey. It's one of my favorite movies of the year too so far. It's in my top 10 so far.
Yeah.
But it's
and like they didn't go to like what I really liked about it though as well is that they didn't go like too bonkers as well with like the final fight. Like they kind of kept it like, okay, we're gonna this chick is a chick, like she's human. We're gonna keep it like at that level.
Right.
We're gonna use her smarts and everything to outdo the Predator and shit. Sorry for anybody who hasn't seen it. But we're gonna use her intelligence as opposed to like just making it Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm fucking where she just boxes on with the Predator. Like it's just very well choreographed and very
even
well
he really won by outsmarting the Predator too. Honestly, you know what
I mean? Again, like
similar,
just going back to the original, it's not about brawn. It's about
smarts. Yeah,
about the smarts.
It is about the smarts. I have one thing. I have one thing that I've watched. So I got to see this Hulu original movie called Matriarch a little bit early, and this movie's weird as fuck. But if you're we talked A24 earlier. If you're into weird A24 like horror,
okay,
you'd be into this. I think it's not an A24 movie, but it feels like those kind of movies. Honestly,
2022 or 2018.
I'm giving 2022. 2022.
Okay.
And it's not out yet. It's not out yet. But
okay, I'll put it on my watch list for when it comes out.
Hell yeah. And it's just it's basically the premise is that the main character Laura, she has a drug overdose, and then she has this like weird disease. She's like her nose starts bleeding, but it's like this black goo. And she doesn't know what's wrong, but then she gets in touch with her mom, who she was like pretty much estranged with the last few years, and she decides to go home and kind of like figure out her life. And then the town is just weird as fuck, and then you start to figure out what's going on. I described it as like a mix of, if you've seen this year's A24's Men and
I've been meaning to watch it. Yep.
And Midnight Mass, the Mike Flanagan Netflix
Ooh,
series.
okay.
It feels like the ending feels like Midnight Mass. I think you'll understand more once you see it. But I actually liked the beginning of Men, and the ending is just so. I hated the ending, to be honest. I did not like the ending. The ending is so strange and not in a good way. And I really hate when horror movies have like an overlying theme, but they like beat you over the head with it. I hate it.
Yeah, okay.
And that movie by the end did that. It wasn't even like a. I like it when it's kind of like commentary on something that they talk about, but it's, it's kind of, you don't have to be, it's not hand fed to you. And in that movie, it is shoved in your mouth by the end. And I'm like, okay, I get it. All right. Jesus.
I mean, that's what I kind of enjoyed about Nope as well. Cause there's like an underlying,
right.
To
very Jordan Peele.
Very Jordan Peele. And it doesn't really beat you over the head with it either. Like I had to explain it to my mate afterwards, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I get the point." I had to explain it to my dad too, because there's one specific scene in the middle where he was like, "I'm not going to say anything," but he was just like, "What was the point of that scene? I don't get it." And I'm like, "It's because of the underlying theme or tone of the film, and this is what it's really about." And he's like,
"Right,
okay, yep, fair enough. Okay, yeah, cool, I get you now." I'm like, "Yep,
yeah,
but yeah."
So, but Matriarch it's kind of like if men had a good ending, I guess.
Okay.
It's a solid movie. It's not an incredible movie or anything, and the effects aren't the best in it, but it is like a straight to streaming movie, so I didn't expect much. And the effects work isn't prominent throughout the entire movie, so it's nothing you can be like, oh my god, the effects are terrible. And I don't like being that guy anyway, you know what I mean? Unless they're like really bad, then I'm kind of like, okay, you can be better than that in this day and age. But so that drops October 21st on Hulu. Matriarch. Check it out when that comes out. I recommend this one.